Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's 9:30 in the morning. I wasn't going to do a stream today, but I can't break my habit. I was going to take the day off because I did a live stream after the game last night, but it was only like 5 minutes. It was all choppy and you couldn't understand it. And for some reason, I wanted to sleep in this morning, but I couldn't. So I might as well get up and do the stream. And I'm thinking today we'll just kind of talk about general ending to the summer league with 5 games down, winning the last game against the Warriors, and maybe do a little bit better of a reaction to the game yesterday. And also, just in general, talk about Summer League and also talk about the great meet and greet we had yesterday. More stories from that and different things. Good morning, Trevor J. Good morning to you. Good to see you as always. Be careful who you let into your soccer because they might not be there for who you think they are. Be careful who you let into your life, maybe, or your I heard something say, you want your bedroom to be your sanctuary. So you got to be careful about who you let into your sanctuary. Don't just be letting rando strangers into your sanctuary is what they were saying. Evelyn's here. Good to see Evelyn. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Giveaway T-shirts from me and Lex. Plus it is inside our thanks. We really had a lot of fun and laughter. We miss all of you. Yes, these are shirts that Granny Evelyn had made for the meet and greet yesterday. Everybody who attended got a shirt. Fantastic shirts. Evelyn, I was blown away by your wherewithal to go and get these shirts made and bring them to the event. Fantastic. I love my shirt. It's official Raptor Freak shirt with the logo of the Raptors in the corner. I love these shirts so much. And I'm so happy that so many people that came to the event yesterday have the shirts now and can wear them in other places. That's fantastic, Evelyn. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. Evelyn, you're amazing. And congratulations again on getting your Canadian citizenship on Friday afternoon. So such a great time yesterday. Everybody hanging out. I really did have a really good time, and it was really good to see everybody. There were a lot of Blue Jays fans down at Real Sports, of course, because there were a Blue Jays game going on, and everybody's kind of hanging out down there doing pregame and aftergame stuff. But we had our own little private room with the TVs on the Summer League Raptors game. Thank goodness. Now, I was predicting, is it going to be hard to get the Raptors game on at Real Sports? Well, it was. We missed the first quarter of the game pretty much because they had it on Global Jam, and they thought that was the Summer League game. I was like, no, this is Global Jam. This isn't Summer League. And we got it fixed thanks to David and his girlfriend being very vigilant. Morgan going and getting on them and saying, you got to get this Raptors game on here for these Raptor freaks over here in this corner of the Real Sports Bar and Grill because they want to watch basketball. They're not watching that baseball game that everybody else is out there. So, yeah, and we were loud, too. When the Raptors started winning near the game, near the end of the game with Warriors, we were very loud, and it was very natural noises that I know all the people who attended would be loud at their own homes by themselves. So it was kind of cool to hear us all together cheering. Like when Nowell started getting clutch in the fourth quarter, and he really was very clutch. I went back and looked at the highlights, and holy cow, he had like 2 or 3 baskets late in the game that were crucial for us to turn the tide and get a little bit of a margin to beat Golden State yesterday. And I really like seeing that from him, that we want to see him be able to take over a little bit. He hit a key 3. He went into the lane and hit a nice little jumper there. He was making good plays in the last part of the game to ensure the Raptors won yesterday. So you go, Markquis Nowell. I can't believe it was so good. Let's see. Tom Duke is here. All right. Let's see. Guten Morgen. Let's go, Raptor Freak family. Let's go, Tom. Tom, that's right. We weren't far away from that table that you and I and Greg were sitting at this past year also. Very, very much fun. Very, very excited to see everybody. Monique, MSJ, Blackhawk. So awesome to see people to the names in the chat and get to know them a little bit better. So cool. So awesome. Really got to know MSJ yesterday. And, really, really fun always to see the Saboranch brothers. Of course, we did a little event where I had my old basketball cards from last year at the event again. And I said to everybody, pick a starting 5 and a coach, and I'll judge who picks the best starting 5 and the best coach out of all the old school hoops cards I had from like 1990. And it was fun. Everybody picked a team and a coach, and I kind of looked at each one of them. And, David's girlfriend did a really good job. Morgan did a really good job. She had like Pat Riley as her coach, and Bill Lambier and Sean Elliott and Dale Ellis. I thought the Dale Ellis pick was the one that put her over because Dale Ellis was so underrated as a three-point shooter for the Seattle Supersonics back in the day. And just showing Dale Ellis in the lineup was like, wow, Dale Ellis, that's a deep cut. That's a good one. But yeah, a great team by Blackhawk also. Really, really fantastic team by him. He got to pick the cards later, so he didn't get first dibs, and he still managed to make a really good team. And also Peter. Peter had a really good team too. Those were probably the top three teams right there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And, we had awards given to different people. Of course, I gave David his award for winning the trivia last season. And I did a little let's make a deal, Monty Hall. I said, you can either take the Vince Carter bobblehead that is here, or you can take the mystery bag. And he took the mystery bag and he got a gold Raptors chain. That was his championship trophy. He's now got a golden Raptors chain to commemorate his Raptorsfreak trivia championship. And then Evelyn got a red one for becoming Canadian. We wanted to give her something special to commemorate her Canadian citizenship. So we gave her a Raptors red chain. Really, really cool bling going to them. It's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Nameless is saying, let's fucking go. Can't keep a good freak down 100%. That's right. It was crazy. I was telling everybody, I feel like a fish out of water right now because the game is on. I know it's on and I can't watch it. And I'm freaking out. It's a little bit like a panic attack. Do you ever get that feeling when you're trying to see something on TV and you can't find it and you want to watch it live and you can't and you're freaking out? That's how I felt yesterday a little bit. So thank goodness we got the game on. I was going to say, if they can't get the Summer League game on TV in real sports, then is it really real sports when they can't broadcast a Raptors game inside there? Yeah, they better find it. At one point, I thought it was a Rogers plot because every single television in real sports was on a Rogers channel, Sportsnet, and they were not on TSN. And that's why we weren't having an easy time finding the TSN game because they didn't have any of the TVs on TSN in that whole place. They were Rogers all the way in there. It's crazy. Nameless is saying Granny's shirt and David's trophy are OP. Man, that trophy blew me away. Holy crap. I don't have it here with me because I'm out at Adriana's right now. But yeah, they gave me this amazing weighty trophy for a content creator award. And I really appreciate that. It'll be behind me in my streams at home. But yeah, I was blown away by the thought of those guys doing that. And oh man, thank you, David, and whoever else was involved in that for sure. Dana, Canadian Dana's here. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to go so bad, but my water heater broke. I won't have hot water until Tuesday. Well, at least it's summertime. This is the right month to do it. If this is going to happen is July, that's way better than December or January. That's for sure, Dana. So at least we can look at the silver lining of that. I mean, maybe, the hot water is important, of course, but maybe not this month. So thank goodness. I hate to hear that. But, we'll do more of these over time. And, it's crazy. Think about this. We had the first one last year on my birthday. And every single person that came to the first one came to the second one. We had 100% retention. That's amazing to me. Everybody showed up. Raymond Jacobs showing up. We weren't totally sure about Raymond. Of course, Evelyn was telling Raymond you need to show up. And he did. He came through. And it was so good to see Raymond walking through the rain to get there. And he also got the Vince Carter bobblehead. He said he had a vision that he was going to have that bobblehead at his house. And well, it came true. It was really weird because he didn't win the trivia, but how did he get the bobblehead? Well, David picked the other prize and I knew Raymond Jacob got fourth. It was like David, I Am Shanky, Tom Duke, and then Raymond Jacob. And in the absence of 2 and 3, I gave the fourth place the booby prize of the Vince Carter bobblehead. So Raymond did take the bobblehead home afterwards. He was right. His vision was correct. It's really crazy. Name was saying, Dana, I'm sorry to hear that. As a plumber, it's quite a simple fix. What? Wait a second. Sounds like there may be some plumbing networking that needs to go on through this chat right now. I'll read the comments if you want to tell Dana how to fix this issue, Nameless. That would be magnifique. Yeah. All right. Let me see what else y'all are saying here in the chat this morning. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey. Good morning, fam. It was great to watch the live. You seem to have a great time. Yeah, I just wish the internet connection is stronger. I was literally using the Air Canada Centre Scotiabank Arena's free Wi-Fi from inside the arena from across the street at Real Sports. I didn't even get the real internet from Real Sports. I was on the internet from the arena through the walls, and that's why it was so choppy. And I thought, well, maybe I caught it enough of everything, maybe, but not really good quality. But yeah, it was a fun time. We ate, drank, and we were merry. That's for sure. A couple of shenanigans, fun stories in different places around the whole thing. Really, really great to see Sue showing up, driving from out of town and getting there, fighting the crowd of the Blue Jays crowd to get into the city. And then she got out just in time to beat the crowd when the Blue Jays game was over. Good stuff, Sue. Play it again, Sue. Check out her music reaction channel. So happy to see Sue yesterday. Let's see. Trevor Jason, what a great game. Go Raptors. Yeah, I'll do this more justice today since I kind of shouted a little bit and I didn't really get time to reflect on the game yesterday. From what I saw, it looked like, the Raptors made a really good, smart decision. They started Moses Brown, Gradey Dick, Markquis Nowell, Joe Wieskamp, and this time Darryl Morsell got the start. He was absolutely interesting as a starter in this game. Morsell's a weird player. I really like him on 905, but I don't think he's going to get much further than that. My 3 stars of the game were Joe Weezey. I did give him the number 1 star for getting 27 points, being perfect at the line, 3 of 6 at 3. Just a really good game by Joe. And then Gradey and Markquis were the second and third stars. Markquis with a double-double, 17 points and 12 assists. And then Gradey Dick, 21 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. I really like that Gradey started the game with the first basket. I really like how Markquis closed the game. And I really kind of like how Joe Weezey was pretty consistent throughout most of the game. So that really good stuff from those guys in different places. There were some weird plays in the game that I saw later in the highlights when I watched it later. But for the most part, it was what it was. We saw David Johnson once again come out and 0 for 2 in only 5 minutes. Nembhard was 1 for 5 for only 3 points, but had 4 assists. DJ Hogue, actually very active and really strong off the bench in this game, 4 of 7, 12 points. Caver finally over his injury and got back in the game in the last game. He played like the first game we played and then the last game, and he was hurt the 3 games in the middle. Good to see Ahmad Caver get in there and just get a little bit of a run. It was interesting that Ron Harper didn't play yesterday. Ron Harper Jr. was in a sling even, and people are speculating, why was Ron in a sling? We didn't hear any of the broadcast because we didn't have the sound on. So I didn't have the pleasure of listening to Richard Jefferson yesterday. Thank goodness. Yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, we don't have the sound. That's fine. Look who's calling the game. Tom Duke saying that trophy looks all dripped out. Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy, Tom. It's very heavy. You had something to do with this, with David in them? It's pretty cool. I really like it. It definitely looks very blingy. Yeah. Evelyn's saying that she's got a shirt for you also, Tom. There are more shirts. They will be collected over time. And that if you come to one of our meet and greets or events, I'm sure you will probably be able to get one of these great. These are the shirts now. I mean, look at this. It's a real thing now. Holy crap. This channel has a shirt. It's amazing. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, Tom, you got you. There's one with your name on it there. Jason Smith, good morning to you. Good morning to all great Raptor freaks everywhere. Dana's saying, nameless, I had to order a new thankless heater. I get it on Tuesday. Click saying, hello, been a while. Disappointed we only got 1 win, but Nowell and Dick impressed me as the games went on. Good to see you, Click. I know I had a falling out with you about the Pascal stuff, and this stuff is still going on, and this difference is opinion. You've been a good friend for a long time. I apologize for overreacting, and that's why I unblocked you, because I do really value you as a part of this community. Yeah, I think that they did a lot better as time went on. Like specifically, Gradey kind of got his feet under him and found more of a rhythm. In fact, yesterday, it looks like from the highlights, he was more capable and purposeful with everything he was doing than any of the other games. And I like that. I like to see him feel more comfortable, because the more he feels comfortable on the court, the more he can make intelligent decisions that really, really are the right ones. And that was kind of the arc of Gradey over Summer League was, orientation, getting your first foot in the water, and then kind of like adjusting and realizing this is the speed, this is the size, and this is the whole thing about playing at this level. Now he's going to get to another level when he plays in the regular season of seeing just how much he's going to have to adjust more. But good to see him make adjustments over just a couple of games and look a lot more like he belongs and a lot more like purposeful with his movements. Like, he had a couple of dribbled and get into the lane, pull up real quick shots that were like the first one he made that were very, very much calculated and just show his skill. This isn't the kind of stuff where it's a fluke or he's just doing this. This is him showing his skills and what he can do for us. Now, Nowell, he had a fantastic first game, and then he didn't play the fourth game, but he played the second and third, and they were kind of but this one was a lot better. And I think the thing I like the most about Nowell yesterday is the 12 assists. That's a lot of assists. And it shows that, well, first of all, he's setting these guys up. They're hitting their shots because they shot more than 50% finally in the game yesterday. So Nowell got more of the assist total he should probably get regularly if he has capable people that are going to make the shots around him. So, yeah, really good stuff from Nowell. And once again, him shooting and making shots in the fourth quarter when it really matters, that's a big deal. Apparently, there's some buzz from inside the Raptors front office that they're super excited about Markquis Nowell. In fact, they're very, very, very impressed with him. And the people in the Raptors organization are very much so happy with Nowell and what he promises to possibly be. So I like that. I like that. G saying it looked like fun. Yeah, G, we miss you, man. We hopefully you can come in and hang out with us sometime at some point. Infamous say morning freak. Salute Lex. Your dedication is unmatched. I know I wasn't going to do this. I was literally going to stay in bed, but Adriana woke me up around 8:30, and I was like, I kind of want to sleep in today, but I can't. I just feel like I want to talk Raptors for some reason at 9:30. I can't be stopped, I guess. I don't know what it is. Nameless is saying that's an amazing decision, Dana. Good for you. You will enjoy it much more. All right. Wait, what did she do? What did Dana do? Okay, hang on. I jumped. It jumped too far. Dana said, "Nameless, I had to order a new heater." Okay, a tankless heater. Yeah. Those are good. Tankless water heaters are something else. Okay, you get it on Tuesday. All right, so everything should be worked out by then. Let's see. Evelyn saying, Lex, Bradley came too. Ta-da. That's right. Of course, Bradley showed up. This is the way this happened last year, too. I'm doing the live stream, and as soon as I start the live stream, who walks in? Bradley. This happened last year, too. It's like I turn on the live stream, and it's like, hey, everybody's here. And then Bradley has to make an entrance where he walks in live when the live stream starts. And it's like, oh, Bradley's walking in the live stream, just like last year. He did the exact same thing last year. It was amazing. Yeah, ta-da. Seriously, y'all, look them up on Instagram, Tada Services. They can come to your house and help you with any kind of odd job that you need. Basically, Bradley told me yesterday, if you need anything done in your house within reason, and not sexual, he will come to your house and help you with whatever job it is. He is very much wanting to help you out as quickly as possible. Let's go. Oh, Anya's here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Great game. Watch the highlights. Gradey is heating up. That's right. Good to see you, Anya, and so happy to see Bradley yesterday also. Name was say Trey Magnifique. That's right. Magnifique. Yes. Stillman's here. Good to see Stillman 65. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Yeah, Lex, Raps Championship Game 6. They cut my cable and internet that morning because of a mix-up in my bill payments. Ended up in my car and found a fuzzy AM radio broadcast of the game. That is amazing. That is dedication. Holy crap. And with those stakes, holy crap, Stillman. I would be really, really mad. I would be really mad. I hope you got like a credit or an apology letter or something like that. Holy cow. Like that is maybe a nightmare for me right there. What you just described is a nightmare for me. That they are playing game 6, the game where they can win the championship, and they did. And you had to go and listen to it on AM radio. That is a dedication of a Raptor Freak that wow. This is like, he made it happen no matter what to get that moment to enjoy it with them. And I'm sure like, even though it was over the audio, you have the audio memory of it. And I could just see you in your car, like either jumping out of it and jumping in the air or just getting really loud in the car. That is such a great story. And that just really shows the resilience of us. Evelyn saying, Tom, I meant the t-shirts, hey? Yeah, that's what we mean. Tom's going to get a t-shirt at some point down the road. So, yeah, Tommy, you got to come back to the 6. And Granny Evelyn's got your Raptor Freak shirt. Stargate saying, I think the front office and coach already seen enough to make accurate evaluations of the Summer League players showcased. Let's see what is decided. I hope Mogi gets a chance. Yeah, I do too. He had a couple of good plays in the game yesterday too. You know, he wasn't in for a whole lot because he came off the bench. 14 minutes, 2 of 4. He did miss the only 3 he took. 3 of 4 at the lines, 3 rebounds, an assist, to steal, a block, and 7 points. But he was a +4. And, you know, I just like his hustle. I think they saw enough of him. That's kind of interesting because he didn't start the first game. He started the middle 3 games. He started the second, third, and fourth game, and then he didn't start yesterday. The fact that he didn't start yesterday kind of shows that we've looked at him, and we kind of understand what Mogi is, and hopefully they're going to give him something. And then, you know, they were like, well, Morsell's really been coming on strong. We're going to give Morsell the start today and let him get one more crack at like showcasing his skills for us and making a tough decision for us. So, yeah, I think you're right. Mogi kind of got looked at in those middle games and really kind of showed him enough, and they didn't need to see him as much on the last game. So that was really cool. I was so happy Gradey and Markquis played yesterday. Those reps are important. And I would have been upset if they had shut them down for the last 2 games completely. So really, really good they got out there because honestly, they get some good feelings from this. This is the kind of taste they want at the end of the Summer League, a win and also, you know, success. We don't want them like thinking their whole Summer League was absolute shit for like the next couple months. We need them to kind of have a good feeling. And I think that was achieved yesterday against the Warriors, which was really good. Nameless is saying they're going to keep this Weez camp, aren't they? I don't know. Joe probably isn't sure himself. You know, yesterday may not be enough, really, seriously. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want them to myself. I think that at this point, in some ways, him and Gradey are duplicitous and kind of similar in too many ways. And Gradey is already better than him. Like, seriously, in some ways, Gradey is already showing an autonomy to be able to make shots and do things other than what Joe does. Joe really needs other people to get his shot going. And Gradey is able to kind of make his own shots in some ways. So that's a difference in some ways. Infamous is also saying Richard Jefferson was hating on Canada throughout the whole broadcast. Yeah, see, that's why I just don't need to hear it. I knew he would be doing something like that. I'm sure the people that could hear him were like, and that's not fair because he's sitting with a Canadian guy. It's like, Mark Jones, stand up for your country, bro. You are Canadian still, even if you're deprogrammed from it and you've forgotten your Canadian roots. Mark Jones, you're Canadian, man. So stand up. Don't let Jefferson run all over rumshot over your country's reputation. Come on now. G saying Richard was asked about customs and coming to Toronto, and he said, he won't go there, but Toronto is great. He knows the fans would have pounced on that, but he was not good. Yeah, well, we understand. Like we said yesterday, Richard Jefferson was on the Cavs and the Nets against us in huge playoff series, and he has a proclivity to hate us, partly because of that. You know, he was around on those LeBron teams in Cleveland, so he's part of that's why his mindset comes from. In some ways, he disrespects us possibly because of LeBronto mindset. He's a part of that whole LeBronto time. So I don't think he's a fair and unbiased announcer. Of course he isn't. He's against the Raptors. And in some ways, he doesn't. This is the other thing. These guys got to realize we watch American broadcasts up here. You may be under orders to make your broadcast for American broadcasts, the American population, but Canadian people are watching y'all too. You know, if the Warriors are playing the Raptors, will you think a bunch of Toronto people are going to be watching that game? Canadians going to be watching that game, Richard Jefferson? Seriously, y'all need to understand who your audience is. And your audience is Canadian, and you don't look good. You want haters? You can get more haters if you talk like that. Seriously, we're proud of our country. And we're sick of xenophobia. And Canada gets a certain amount of stupid stuff from the U.S. and their beliefs about us all the time. And a lot of it is xenophobic in some ways. So yeah, you go ahead, Richard Jefferson. You keep wearing that suit. You keep wearing that suit. Anya saying, thanks again for being the swag granny, Evelyn. Oh yeah. Yeah, she is amazing. Holy cow. She hooked up Bradley. That's for sure. Holy crap. That was awesome. G saying, meaning he won't go there on commenting about customs. Yeah, the customs is the customs, whatever. Listen, we have very difficult customs. We can see that from like what just happened with Dennis Schroeder is he had a hard time getting into Canada with his passport. Well, we do things right with our border patrol and our guard and keeping things exactly right for we have standards. Maybe in the US you're a little bit like, we don't care, whatever. Well, we care up here. We want to get things right at the border. And especially in the times of a pandemic, we were very, very careful about letting people in that may be sick. We're trying not to let that happen. So forgive us for having good customs and trying to stop bad things from coming into our country. Nameless is saying they keep holding on to this Weezey fella like a man holding on to his last pieces of hair. They're gonna keep him. I feel it in my loins. That's a weird place to feel it, Nameless. Really? In your loins? I don't know what's going to happen with Joe Weezey. I'm sure we're going to hear about it either today or tomorrow. It'll happen very soon because he has a deadline tomorrow or Tuesday, the 18th. They extended the deadline to decide on Joe Weezey till the 18th. So they are going to decide either today or tomorrow on Joe Weezey. I really hope that they just cut him and go get somebody new, somebody different somewhere else. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Wayne saying Weezey might have rescued his. Hang on. I jumped. All right. Right in the middle of it. Weezey might have rescued his job through sheer hard work. Moses looked kind of rushed and unprepared. Gueye had a weak game. Nebhard, Morsell, Johnson, and Hogg, we don't really want, not even for 905. Yeah. I mean, Johnson kind of has a path to just stay there because he's just there already. And if they want him around as a leader and kind of a vet on the 905 level, he's good for that. But yeah, I'm not interested in Nemhard. I mean, if Hogue wants to be on 905, we could play a 905 too. I'm okay with that. Morsell, if he wants to come back and play on 905, that's fine too. But these guys, nothing with the main roster, no. And Moses Brown, I'm a big hard pass still. I don't want Moses Brown on this team. He's bad habits, bad energy in some ways. I just don't want him around our team. Nameless is saying Gradey is going to be phenomenal. He's so multidimensional. This is great. This whole summer league week, we've had ups and downs on the stock of Gradey Dick. We've been like, oh man, why did we pick this guy instead of Keontae George? But now we're starting to see just exactly the puzzle piece he is in the roster. And kind of you can tell how he will fit with Scott really good from the couple of things he's been showing in the last two games. This is going to be really fruitful, to mine good interaction on the basketball court between Scottie Barnes and Gradey Dick. And we're seeing the tools. Infamous is saying Mark Jones did a great job calling the game. He actually did some homework on the players compared to Jefferson, who said he doesn't know anything. There you go. That's what it says. Somebody was saying Richard Jefferson is supposed to be an asshole, or he's just supposed to look sexy or something like that, ripping his shirt off and doing all. I don't know what Richard Jefferson's supposed to do there. They fired so many people from ESPN recently. I was hoping he would be one of them. Seriously. But apparently he's a hot shot in ESPN, and he's not going to get fired. They fired Jalen Rose, though. Maybe they could have fired Richard Jefferson also. It's too bad. Anyway, but yeah, I'm glad Mark Jones was always like that. He does his homework. He's a good professional announcer for the most part. Now, some of the other people at ESPN, yeah, they're not learning people's names. They're not learning pronunciations. They don't know what they're talking about. Evelyn's saying HTG. I forget what that says. What that means. HTG, guys attending church services. Okay. Oh, she has to go. She's on her way to church. Thanks again, Evelyn, for coming to the event yesterday. She's a social butterfly. She had other things conflicting, and she still came to the Raptorsfreak meet and greet when she was invited to lunch and dinner and all kinds of different things. She still managed to come and see us. So, Evelyn, we were so fortunate to have you there, and I hope you have a great time at church this morning. G saying apparently Gary is in the best shape of his life, according to someone whom he says he has been training every day in Miami. This is okay. Gary's really going for that extension. Whoo, Gary, let's go. Let's go. This is the way you do it. You put in that work, you put in that effort, you put in that time, and you come back, Gary Trent. We talked a bit about him yesterday at the meet and greet. And, the thing that was said about Gary was he needs to be more consistent this year. In some ways, Gary, I worry about him being like John Starks from back in the day, that it's just going to be this way. That, some guys that are shooters are just streak shooters. They're going to go hot and cold from time to time. And there's actually just a natural balance to the basketball that you will be hot and cold from time to time as a shooter. Well, this is the thing with Gary. If we could get the two ends of it to be a little bit more in the middle in some sort of consistent way, that'd be good. Although I kind of really like when he's scorching hot and getting these 30 plus games in a row, but there is another part of the season where he really doesn't score very well at all. And that's what we're trying to figure out. Well, if he's working out so hard this year, let's see if there's more of a middle in consistency as far as his output from night to night. Because in some ways, that is the best way he can improve, is that he can be more dependable night in, night out, for sure. So, yeah, I love hearing that Gary's working so hard right now. I really do. Tom's saying, gee, I'm betting we will see that development from within this season. There you go. Tom is already betting that hard work will pay off this year. It'll show in better play. And then as a byproduct of that, a very nice extension to his contract. Yeah, Jason Smith saying that pass. Yeah, I saw some of the highlights, and Markquis had some very good passes last night. Once again, it was very confusing and a lot of going on in the room with all 13 of us there watching the game. So it was a little bit of a confusing and hard to focus on the game at time to time because we're all just talking and stuff. But in the highlights, I did see Markquis dropping some very nice dimes in that game yesterday. G saying Tom sounds like he is taking it very seriously and wants to prove himself. Yeah, Gary is that kind of guy. I think that's just always who he's been. Is like I said, he doesn't want distractions. This dude might as well be a basketball monk. Like I said, I don't think he has any romantic relationships because he understands that, getting emotionally attached to someone and being on a roller coaster that isn't stable possibly can really mess up his professional career in some ways if he doesn't feel good. So in some ways, he wants to keep control of all that in the best way he can. So he makes sacrifices in his life very much for his career. He's done that his whole life in a lot of ways. I think it's very much from a young age. Gary Trent Sr. said, well, son, if you want to make the NBA and be the best possible player, this is how you have to do it. And he bought in very early. And so in some ways, I worry about Gary being a little bit like Michael Jackson. When the Jackson 5 were coming up, Joe Jackson was very much like you were working, you're professional. And I don't know how young Gary was when he started getting that treatment and being so serious like that. It's a real testament to who he is and his work ethic and why he is such a great NBA player. Is that, in some ways I worry he lost his childhood because he worked so hard just to make the NBA already. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. A Stargate saying they're not going to keep Wieskamp. He will be out. He will be cut. Just put on the 905 roster only. Markquis and Gradey, once they get to practice with the big boys, they will learn. Not worried about them. Yeah, I like the statement. I think Stargate's pretty accurate right here. I don't think he'll be on our team either. I really hope they make that decision. Now, if he's up just straight up on our 905 this year and he will be okay with doing that, I'm okay with that. If he has some sort of path to try and make it back, it's really tough, though. Once you get to that point, you can ask David Johnson. You can ask Justin Champagnie. It's hard to come back from getting, just not being on a two-way anymore, and you're just a G League player. It's very, very hard. So we'll have to see what happens with this. It may be Weezey'd rather go off in the sunset than stick around and just be 905 because that would be a demotion. And he may make $1 million something over in a foreign country. So Infamous is saying, I believe that Nowell would lead the league in assists if he played a season with the main squad. You think he'd lead the whole league in assists? Wow, that's a very lofty goal and very difficult, but, very plausible. It could be. Who knows? It depends on how he orients himself as far as are you going to try and score a lot, Markquis, or are you just going to set people up? Fun Guy saying, saw your short video. It looked like a good time. Awesome, man. Yeah, Fun Guy, it was a blast. Really, really good time. We got there early and just so awesome to see everybody. I really love hanging out with David because he's such an edgy guy. And man, I really, really am touched that you guys went and got that trophy for me. That means a lot. Seriously. Holy crap. And I loved giving the love back. The love was given to me, and it was going every which way to everybody. And Monique being there and just having Monique and her mom there and just like everybody palling around, people throwing back some beers and eating some good food. It was a really good time. It really was. And then, of course, the Raptors won. That was the gamble. Like, I didn't even know that the game would happen at the time of our meet and greet. Well, it's serendipity. It all worked out in the right way where we got the game to watch while we were there, and they won also. And that was just awesome. G saying, I like that Nowell and Gradey have short-term memories. Turnovers are funny shots and plays do not phase them. Yeah, that's really important. In fact, in some ways, I worry about Joe for this. Like, he seems like he gets in his head when he starts missing because he's under such pressure. It really feels like that pressure makes him really second guess. And then when one thing goes wrong, other things kind of spiral into going wrong just because all of a sudden you're kind of like in your head too much. And these guys are definitely not like that. You can tell. Gradey very much has a short memory. And Nowell is that kind of baller. He's like, well, I messed up this time, but I'm going to make sure I don't mess up the next 3 times. Let's see. G saying, this is such a valuable mental strength that's necessary in the NBA. Yeah. And it only gets more ratcheted up. You can't be soft when you're getting into playoff situations that are clutch, and you really, really, really got to be in the right mindset and really have tenacity mentally is very important. Trevor saying, I was working and watching the game at the same time. I told everybody I haven't seen the Raptors play. The whole team of workers was laughing at me. They said, you were a real one. And I said, yes, there you go. Trevor's working and he's got the game on. Are you on stage and you're watching the game? I was like, I don't know. Trevor probably has a couple of different duties, but that's cool. You told everybody you hadn't seen them play and you wanted to watch. They were laughing. Okay. Well, listen, let them laugh, and we will have the last laugh when we hold up our second Larry O'Brien championship in the next championship parade. Yeah, let them laugh. We will be laughing last when the good things come to us down the road. That's right. Let's see what else y'all are saying here. Good to see everybody this morning. And I can't stop. I was going to take today off, but I didn't. I did not. Let's see. Where was I? Tom Duke saying, attaboy, Trevor. So true, though. Oh, yeah. I also dislike listening to Richard Jefferson. Yeah, that was one of the pluses of having no audio. We could just watch it. We didn't have to hear him. Butthole face. There we go. That's about the right thing to say there, Tom. Butthole face. Jimmy's saying, Canada way better than the U.S. At least I'm not scared to walk the corner store here, unlike in the States. There you go. Popa positivity. In some ways, this is a big reason why I live in Canada and I don't live in the States. And, I kind of want my folks to move away from the States so that they can be in Canada just because I worry about them. I really do. I know there's random acts of violence around Toronto, too, in certain ways right now, too. But if you really, really dig deep and you look at the statistics of violent crime in certain metropolitan United States cities and Toronto, you will find that we are very, very safe. If you very much dig into all of the different kinds of crimes, violent crimes, well, Toronto is very safe. It's a safe haven, even though there's a couple of stories here and there in the news day to day that may be frightening. That really, if you looked at the whole numbers and percentage wise, you would be shocked at how unsafe some of the U.S. cities are. It is crazy. Let's see. Infamous is saying Gradey's IQ and moving without the ball is already at an advanced level. He's also has sneaky athleticism. Yeah, that's something that keeps being said about Gradey. He looks like a lanky, skinny, blonde, white kid, but he actually does have some real athleticism. He's not filled out yet. He's definitely going to have to get stronger. And he seems kind of like rail thin, but it's weird because he has a weird athleticism. Like we said, he can do the tumbling, he can do flips like a gymnast. So he is very, very, the other thing is he's very good at all sports. He's a natural athlete. He can play baseball and very, very good. He's a track guy. He's all kinds of sports. He's done them all and he's excelled at them all. When he was younger, he won a lot of stuff whatever he played. He was like little Mr. Perfect, like Kurt Hennig. He's like, oh, I'll play this and I'll be good at this and I'll be good at this. And he was good at almost everything he tried. Stargate saying, Lex, none of these Canadian basketball media personalities take up for Canada in any significant way when their American counterparts are out of pocket with their xenophobia against Canada. Yeah, I noticed that. In some ways, they got to toe the company line, and it is whatever. I get it. It used to be way worse. Like in some ways, it's gotten better. Like they understand. People more understand. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be saying certain things like this and this, but because it used to be really dumb, like ideas about what Canada was all about on American broadcasts in different places. But it's gotten a little bit better. But of course, certain people are going to be kind of Yeah, but Mark Jones, a secretly Canadian person, he's been secretly Canadian. I was talking about it yesterday. I didn't even realize Mark Jones was Canadian until I was an adult. I saw him on TV all the time when I was a kid because he was broadcasting as a very young person on ESPN already. And I never knew he was Canadian until later. I made the connection that he was Paul Jones's brother. And this was like in the early 2000s, I think I figured it out, or maybe even later. I didn't realize Mark Jones was Canadian until like maybe 2010. It's really weird. Kareem is saying you probably couldn't hear Mark Jones' amazing segue to commercial. Mama Muhammadu Gueye busy underneath. What's your mama do perfect segue? He did that? Seriously? Oh no, Kareem, holy crap. That's kind of hilarious, actually. In some ways, it's kind of funny, but I mean, I guess like what's your mama do perfect segue leading to a commercial? What's your mama do perfect? Oh my gosh. That's man, that is like a dad joke, a very bad dad joke. And yeah, I guess with Muhammadu Gueye, his name, it allows for this. Stargate saying they're afraid of ruffling the American feathers and burning bridges, so they'll never do it. Yeah, well, Mark Jones, he doesn't want to be uncovered as a Canadian. He did recently. Like, there's more recent times he talks more about growing up in Toronto and things he knows about Toronto. You know, they were talking about Delano Banton one time in recent years. And he's like, yeah, I know about the 45 bus. I used to ride it downtown with my brother to play basketball downtown, you know? And it's like, oh, wait a second. This dude's dropping knowledge of Toronto all of a sudden in the broadcast. Okay, Mark Jones. So you are actually Canadian and you do know something about our city. You know, he's right. He takes that account. He's like, I know about 45 bus, Delano Banton. You know, I was like, man. You know, he'll hide it, but he doesn't hide it anymore in some ways. Let's see. Wayne saying Richard Jefferson was humorous with Mark Jones. Lighten up, Raptor freaks. Richard meant no disrespectful commentary and was fine and truthful. Of course, he emphasized beating the Raptors 3 times. It's true. All right. See, I didn't hear him, so I don't know exactly what he said. I'm just going by hearsay from other Raptor freaks that heard the live broadcast. But I know from his body of work, he has been very insulting towards our franchise. And did he talk about beating us 3 times in the playoffs? Yes, he's a jerk. I don't want to hear that from him. I just don't. I know Scottie got mad at me for saying I hate Richard Jefferson on his Twitch last year. He very much took me aside in a moment. He said, Raptorsfreak, don't hate anyone. Don't hate Richard Jefferson. And he didn't understand why I don't like him. But I was like, okay, Scottie, you're telling me not to hate Richard Jefferson. I'll try not to hate Richard Jefferson. It was really a share the love kind of moment with Scottie there. And I was learning from a youngster that half my age. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. I can learn from a youngster like him. So he made me want to like Richard Jefferson more because he specifically told me not to hate him anymore. Scottie did. It is what it is. MSJ saying that's Jefferson for you, but nice to meet people. Yes. And someone mentioned a Facebook, so I'll make an account. Been off Facebook for years and I'll join. Yeah. You know, Chris, really all that is we have a chat and we do like throughout the day when news breaks or we find content that is found like Schroeder on YouTube or Pascal or anything that happens on with stuff dropped. We share it in there just so everybody sees it so we don't miss it. So it's really a great breaking news kind of feature as far as like you may hear me like during free agency. It was crazy in there. Like we were dropping stuff left and right when we'd hear it. And we'd all kind of like had like that news pipeline really quickly from when people found it. As soon as the Summer League roster came out, Paul B posted it. And it was very helpful for us to share the information quickly. So that's kind of what it is. You'll see like Monique and I post like a YouTube video that's come out that has to do with the Raptors every day. So it's like if you really want to stay on top of everything, that is a really good side thing at the moment. So that's really what it is. We don't have an actual group yet. Like I haven't made a Facebook group. It's just us in a chat. So basically, find me on Facebook under my name, and I'll add you as a friend, and I'll just add you to our Raptor Freak chat. And that's basically what it is. And if you want to be a part of it also, anybody else, just look me up on Facebook, Alexi Odds, and I'll add you as a friend. Let me know who you are, because I may not know who you are if you have different names or something like that in a message, and I'll add you, and then I'll add you to the chat. The chat's was very, very helpful in the last month with free agency and all the breaking news and different things like that. So Iceman is saying the only player on the summer league team that will be on the main roster is Gradey, and he might not even be in the regular rotation. Nowell will lead the 905 with Harper Jr., Wieskamp, Gueye, Morsell, and Shumate. Shumate got in very little at that game yesterday. Finally, that's the only little bit. He got 5 minutes of summer league, and that's it. 1 of 2 points. I feel bad for the guy, but you know what? In some ways, he was so on the fringes. This maybe look good for him to get a job in Europe or Asia. So he'll be on his way somewhere else, I'm pretty sure. All right, let me see. Iceman, I'm going to look at this. I think you're right about the Gradey thing, with an outside chance for Nowell and Gueye to like do some really amazing things and get a little bit of burn on the main roster. But I think you're pretty accurate with this. Nowell should definitely run that 905 team. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know where Harper Jr., what's going to happen with him. In some ways, he's very similar to Wieskamp to me and David Johnson. So we'll have to see. So these are the guys you like being on 905 still. All right, well, we'll have to see. I mean, Morsell, I think he should come back for sure. I don't know about David Johnson, though. All right, we'll have to see. Infamous is saying the problem with Gary Trent Jr. is for his height, his scoring is off. If he doesn't give you anything else, rebounds, assists, blocks, etc., very below average. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why Nick wouldn't play him if he wasn't hitting his shot, because he doesn't really add a lot of rebounds, assists. He will add some steals, but he doesn't fill the stat sheet in general. He really doesn't. It really is the scoring and shooting that he's all about. MSJ saying, I think for Nowell and Gradey, we saw their mistakes, but also saw what they can do. And they can do some special things in passing and shooting. Their potential will show over time. NBA talents. Yeah. I think that the enthusiasm of the Raptors organization about Nowell speaks a lot, because they may be seeing things through their metrics, and they're like, okay, actually, he's translating way better than we thought in summer league. They may have thought that he would have a little bit of stumbling blocks, maybe a little bit of friction coming in, but they're saying, whoa, this guy actually seems like he can maneuver and do things right. So I like that too. I think there is a lot of potential for both of them. All right, Iceman's got his lineups set up. I like to see this. Raps projected roster at center: Jakob Poeltl, Precious Achiuwa, and Koloko. Power forward: Siakam, Boucher, Porter, and Young. At small forward: Barnes, McDaniels, and Dick. At shooting guard: Anunoby, Trent. Point guard: Schroeder, Flynn, Doughton Jr., and then the two ways: Harper, Nowell, and Wieskamp. Okay, and MSJ thinks that seems right. All right, I want to dissect this a little bit. Is that the full 18? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, okay, so that's the full 18. All right, I want to drop Harper and Wieskamp. They're not worth two ways. I want to go and get two different two ways. I want Mogi to be one of those spots, and then the other one, I just want it to be wide open. If it's going to, it could be Ron Harper possibly, but definitely not Joe Wieskamp. I don't want him on a two-way because he's older and it doesn't really work. It's not worth it. So I would say Markquis Nowell, Mogi, and a wild card two-way to be determined later. It could even be a two-way given to a guy who was on another summer league team. That could be very fruitful and interesting. Like, that's what I kind of see. That may be the biggest thing I change about this. Everything else looks like it's set. So it's kind of like with the two-way guys that we got to figure out, because everybody else has contracts and they're already part of the team. So the whole rest of it looks good. It's just the 3 two-ways I would change a little bit. I would keep, obviously Nowell's already on it. So I wouldn't waste them on Harper and Wieskamp. I would definitely give one to McGee and then figure out the other ones from somewhere else, maybe. Maybe Moses Brown. Maybe Moses Brown is the other two-way. I don't know. They may have liked what he did. Some people have liked what he did. Anya's saying, nice to meet you, MSJ. Hope you got your mug. Yeah, I think you guys got your mugs. Bradley, did you leave your mug in the bushes over by the statue? y'all were funny. That made me feel like I was a teenager again. Y'all sneaking beers out of Real Sports and we're drinking right in front of the big screen in front of Scotiabank Arena, and they got their mugs out in the street. Oh my gosh, these dudes were like heat magnets, but nobody cared. Nobody was around. I think all the police were probably busy directing traffic, and nobody from Real Sports came out to get them or anything. So they were being little outlaws drinking beer on the street like it was New Orleans. And then I was like, I think he walked off with his mug. Yeah, I think that MSJ did take his mug. And Bradley, did I see you putting it in the bushes? Like, we're not going to bring them back in because we snuck them out. They wanted to drink the rest of their beer. Basically, what happened was the Blue Jays game let out, and so many Blue Jays fans started taking over Real Sports that we were like smaller crowd because some of our people had left. And we were like, we can't really hold up this amount of their building because they need the room because they had people down in a line down out the hallway. So we wanted to leave, but they were still drinking, so they snuck their beers outside. G saying Gradey is only 19 and very mature on the court. His body by the time he is even 21 will be much stronger. I think this is a very good prediction and something to keep in mind that G's saying that this guy's going to grow into more of an adult man body from a teenage body because he is a teenager. He is literally a teenager right now. And this is actually really good to keep in mind. Isaac Campbell's here. Hell yeah, Iceman. Let's fucking go. Congrats on the freak streak. Yeah. I guess I keep it going. I was going to take today off because I did 2 yesterday. But you know what? That 5-minute clip doesn't really count. So I'm just going to do every day. I'm not going to take a day off. Screw it. I'll just be here. Tom Duke saying stack lineup for sure. Yeah. We had a stacked Raptor Freak lineup at the Raptor Freak meet and greet yesterday. That's for sure. MSJ saying my mug, laugh out loud. Oh yes, looked a little odd with it on the TTC, but I have it thanks to Canadian cowboy, country cowboy slick exit. And yes, talk about Dick when he's 22. He might be 6'10" and 215 pounds. 6'10"? Seriously? Wow. Actually, that would be interesting if he got closer to 7 foot. That's another thing he has over Joe. He's already taller than Joe, and he will be taller than him even more so if he grows even further. So, yeah, that's a big difference right there. Grady's 6'7", 6'8", something like that. Maybe even 6'9", I've heard. And Joe Wieskamp's like 6'5", 6'6". So, in Joe's older, he's not going to grow anymore. So, that's a big difference there. Seymour's here. Good to see Seymour Pape. Won a Raptors 2019 NBA championship frame poster yesterday at the Stampede and a Phoenix Suns Grant Hill jersey, too. I hit 8 of 10 shots. Sign me up to 10-day contract, Raptors. Whoa, Sheriff Seymour Pape filling up the hoop to win the championship frame poster yesterday. I love that so much. Wow, Raptor Freaks were winning all over the place yesterday. I love to hear this, Seymour Pape. Representing, yes, a Grant Hill jersey is nice too. I think Grant Hill's a very respectable, great NBA great from his history. Too bad he had so many injuries, but man, he was something else in Pistons. Now later on, when he was in Magic and Suns, it was different, but he was still very good. In fact, late in his career, Grant Hill turned to the defensive side of things and became a very, very good defensive player late in his career. That is very cool, Seymour. And I love hearing you winning. That's right. MSJ saying, okay, cool. Facebook done. People want to connect with me there. That'll be fine too. Chris Gold, by the way. All right. When you guys see a friend request from Chris Gold, that will be MSJ, y'all, just so y'all know. So I'll look for it today, Chris, and we'll add you. And maybe you'll find Monique and Evelyn and different people who are on Facebook also. Bradley, I don't know if Bradley's on Facebook. I don't think he's in our group. But Dave, no, David's not in the group either. But some of the people from yesterday are for sure, like Sue. Let's see. Infamous saying, what you're going to gauge on P skills? What's your gauge on P skills? Do you think he's staying or going? Well, this is a great cue for the Instagram check. Siakam has a lot of Instagram posts yesterday. First, we'll start with Precious, who's putting Chris Boucher on blast for hanging out with Jay-Z. And he's saying, someone remind me how much money the money was again, because this man was supposed to take me to dinner. He's not talking about Jay-Z. He's talking about Chris. Chris, you're going to be hanging out with Jay-Z. Precious is going to hit you up for dinner is basically what we're seeing. OG Ananobi has a post yesterday, guys. He is putting on blast Flow, alkaline spring water, y'all. So if you need that spring water to be alkaline, make sure it's Flow. It's water that loves you back. There, I even did a little ad for you, OG. Since you're a Flow guy, there you go. There's a Flow. Water that loves you back. All right, let's see. Thad Young is taking a picture in a window with his wife, or she's taking the picture. It looks like it's somewhere hot. They're wearing shorts. Thaddeus, so happy that you're still a Raptor. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you stay a Raptor still. Gradey Dick has got a bunch of pictures of him in his new jersey, his Raptors jersey, with his buddy Jalen Wilson wearing the Brooklyn jersey. Those two Kansas Jayhawks celebrating being in the NBA as rookies. Really happy to see those guys palling around and smiling and happy. There's a picture of Gradey scoring on the Warriors yesterday with his layup. And then they were bowling, I guess, or something. He said, turkeys all night long. I guess they were bowling last night. And Gradey's saying she might as well call it a night once I start hitting this pose. Okay, so Gradey is a bowler, I guess. Turkeys all night long. I don't know what's going on there. Good stuff. But yeah, lots of love between Jalen and Gradey. This is going to be a bromance between teams. When we play the Nets, this will be a little side story. Jalen Wilson versus Gradey Dick. We didn't get them head-to-head because Gradey sat out in the game the other day, but we will at some point. Grady's taking a free throw shot. That's good to see. Markquis Nowell putting his game on blast. 17 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds. You go, Mr. New York City. And I love the highlights. Let's see this dish right here. He dribbled behind the back, and then he threw it over his shoulder, and then it's a nice layup for Joe Weezey. That is maybe that dish that was alluded to earlier in the chat. That dish, that pass. This man is a point guard. This guy, somebody, all right, this is what Blackhawk said yesterday. This is kind of funny. Blackhawk, a.k.a. Neil, really great to meet you. Blackhawk said, all right, we had Mighty Mouse before. He wants Mighty Hamster. He was proposing that we call Markquis Nowell Mighty Hamster. And I was like, Mighty Mouse was a cartoon character. And I don't know what Mighty Hamster is. I don't know. Mighty Hamster is kind of cool. And then David started talking about Mighty Gerbil. And I was like, no, don't denigrate Markquis Nowell like this. Now you're calling him a gerbil? That's not nice. It made me think of those car commercials with the Hamsterdam or whatever. That old ad campaign. Yeah, but Mighty Hamster, I'm not totally sure. I'd go with Mighty Hamster over Mighty Gerbil. That's for sure. For sure with that, for sure. But yeah, Markquis, fantastic stuff. He really puts his stuff on blast on Instagram. So many different people showing his highlights. Really, really good stuff. They've got a summer league mix of his up somewhere. Yeah, this is good stuff. And then he's driving around Las Vegas late last night, and the Sphere is freaking out. It's got little orange bubblies floating around in it like it's a fishbowl. That is crazy stuff. And here's a quote that Markquis is saying. It's easy to act solid in front of me, but how you move when I'm not around is what counts. Ooh, cryptic message for somebody out there. You go, Markquis Nowell, number 24. Joe Weezey actually posting his accomplishments from the game yesterday on Instagram. You go and get that shine while you can, Joe. 27 points with 3 3-pointers made. Matt Devlin closing out the Global Jam today on Sportsnet. Y'all check out Global Jam, and he's got a nice picture of him with his broadcast partner, Alvin Williams, the great Alvin Williams. Boogie Williams, we love you. Love seeing Matt and Alvin smiling. Coloco showing a highlight from them on the bench, cheering on the Summer League team yesterday. Him and Ron Harper Jr. and Jeff Doughton Jr. Getting all happy because the Raptors won the game. Reggie Perry coming over to say hi to Coloco also at the end there. So awesome. I love seeing that. Reggie Perry wanted to say hi to the guys that he used to play with. Really happy the Raptors won this game. Seriously. Yeah, Chris has got more pictures of that black tie affair with Jay-Z and Rock Nation and everybody's uncle. Just really classy event that he was at. Holy cow. Really good stuff. Chris, you are high class. Hanging out with the big time there. Who's that? He's got a picture of him with Jonathan Kuminga. It looks like also Chris hanging out with Jonathan Kuminga. And then he's at a concert yesterday. I'm not sure what concert this is. That kind of looks like whatchamacallit, Budweiser stage here in Toronto, but it might not be. Actually, it probably isn't. It doesn't look like it totally is Budweiser stage. But yeah, he's also putting on blast Precious, telling him he needs to take him to dinner. That's hilarious. All right, Siakam. Finally, we're getting to Siakam. Siakam is somewhere very, very beautiful. And it says, I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. And there he is. He's traveling. He's got that solitude. He's away from the noise. He's not listening to these trade rumors. He's just living his life. This is what he does when it gets to be this time of year. He just cuts it all off. He goes somewhere and he chills. And I'm glad he's doing that. He's out on the beach running towards the seagulls with his arms out like he's going to fly away with them. All right, Siakam, we'd love to see that. We just want you to be happy and solitude, away from all the noise and bullshit. I think that a lot of this is bullshit. Seriously, if Bobby and Masai aren't going to take some of the deals that we've gotten in the last couple of years that have been pretty good, why would they take a shitty deal from Atlanta now? And if DeJounte Murray is not able to be traded in the next 6 months, I don't know how they're doing this. I've heard the talk about Tyler Herro in the last 24 hours. I think it's bullshit too. There's just a lot of bullshit out there. And most of it is emanating from south of the border. This isn't stuff that's coming from our guys, other than Michael Grange and his stupid speculation. Most of the information is all coming from places like the Hawks, the Heat, the Trailblazers. And, it's not noise coming from us. I don't think that Bobby and Masai have any intention to trade Siakam right now. And I think that people are going to realize that more and more as time goes by in the next couple of weeks. This will all cool down. So hopefully that is what will happen, Infamous. That I really think that he's going to be a Raptor. In fact, Siakam's drop this weekend of the All-Star weekend, him hanging out and Scottie's prominence in it, and just certain things are really alluding to the fact that they look at each other as a pair, Siakam and Barnes. And that, things they want to work together. They really do. Wayne's saying players we are interested in showed up yesterday. Your take on Moses Brown was evident yesterday. Positional play and general defensive positioning pretty bad. Morsell is just not good, freaks. He's talented athletic wise, but he's not a really great shooter. And he's a weird position. Like he's a shooting guard, but in some ways he's a point guard. But in some ways, he plays like a forward. He's a really weird kind of hybrid kind of player. And in some ways, he doesn't fit the NBA like one of the archetypes of what an NBA player would be. It's kind of an in-between player. So he may be, his ceiling is the 905. But yeah, he's a weird player. I like him, though. He showed a lot of energy and gumption in Summer League. I won't diss Darryl Morsell, and I'll be very happy if he will be on our 905 again this year. Yeah, Moses Brown, I didn't check him too closely because I only saw the good highlights. But if he was making key mistakes, I really think it's his second effort. He can make the first effort to make a really good defensive play. But if he doesn't secure the ball through that first effort, the guy's going back up again with the second attempt, and he's nowhere there to try and stop the second thing. He has no second effort. He's done after one effort, and that's no good, especially if you don't secure the ball and end their offensive set. So, yeah, there's nothing with that. Seymour saying, where's Doughton on that list? Okay, did he leave out Doughton? I think Doughton was on that list. Yeah, he's got Doughton on there. He's on the point guard part. So Doughton is definitely on there. We're all good. Doughton is there. Let's see. Wayne saying Ron Harper goes. Definitely a G leaguer. Yeah, I think he is going to be like David Johnson. He had the two-way last year. He got his little bit of a taste of the NBA. But if he wants to make the league, he's going to have to show a lot more. A lot more. Josh is saying, do you think Gradey can reach a JJ Redick type model where he is able to hit shots through cuts, moving in transition, and extending his range beyond the three-point line? He could be an elite shooter. That's his plan, Josh. That really, he's elaborated that in interviews this past week, that he wants to be known as one of the great shooters in the NBA. And to do that, some of the stuff you're describing is exactly what he's looking to do. In fact, I think he's already ready to do a lot of what you're describing here. I think he does it already. We've seen it, and he has that aptitude already. So he's just going to get better at it. What he's going to have to do is he's just going to have to catch up with the NBA speed of things and apply it to that. So he's just going to have to see how much it takes to do it on that level, and hopefully he'll have it. and he'll be able to do it. He can definitely do it against lesser competition already. It's just, can he amp it up and be able to do it against the very best in the world, the NBA? And we'll have to see. That is really good description, Josh, of what he does, actually, where he hits shots through cuts, moving in transition and extending his range beyond the three-point arc. Yeah, he wants to shoot like Steph. He wants to have that further out range like Trae Young and Fred VanVleet. So we should see Gradey shooting from way out. Yeah, he should have that very deep range. But the cutting and the moving without the ball, that's going to be his bread and butter. And he's going to look really good doing it. He's going to surprise us. A lot of it's going to be very smart plays. Very, very smart plays. Tom Duke saying, "Baha, Raptorsfreaks breaking the rules like bosses." Yeah, those guys were rule breakers. We're out there sitting with Monique waiting for her to get her ride. And we're sitting out there, and these two guys are standing there with these mugs, and there's like families near us, and like the fathers are kind of looking at us. And then you add in like David and I smoking big J's, like smoking all this weed, and then like these guys are standing there with their beers. Yeah, we look like some tough guys like out there. Yeah, you gonna mess with us? We're wearing red and everybody's wearing blue because it's Blue Jays like crazy, and we're like the only Raptor fans out there. And some people were like, "What are these people? Why are they wearing Raptor stuff? It's not even Raptor season." And like, I could tell they were kind of like, "Where they seem like they're out of place," but we were just holding it down like we do for the Raptors, even though it's a Blue Jays day out there. It's hilarious. Shir Khan saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Great to see everyone at the meet and greet. Fun times. Has anyone seen the rumors that the Raptors may throw in a pick for Herro in the Dame to Miami trade? I'm not sure if taking up his huge contract is good. I'm not interested in getting Tyler Herro. In some ways, the things that Tyler Herro does so well are suited to him being in Miami, and that if he goes to another team, he may not be as good on another team. In some ways, we just drafted Gradey Dick. Why do we want to go get Tyler Herro? Are we going to be like the Cleveland Cavaliers and get two of everything? They got Strus and Niang this offseason. So, okay, we're going to get Tyler Herro to play with Gradey Dick? I mean, in some ways, we want Gradey Dick to turn into our Tyler Herro. So I don't get this whole Tyler Herro rumor that's going on currently, because it doesn't totally make sense to me. We got Gradey Dick. Why do we need Tyler Herro? And do we need to be involved in the Portland Trailblazers trade for Dame Lillard if he's not coming here? I don't want to be the third team just in the middle. In some ways, there's an opportunity in that. Maybe they can make something really awesome happen. But it's not Tyler Herro coming to Toronto. That's not what I want. Get something else. Get something. If you're going to be involved as the third team in the Damian Lillard trade that's coming up, make sure it's worthwhile, or don't even get involved. Seriously. That's how I look at it. And he does have a large contract. And I'd much rather pay one of our guys that we already got that money than him. I'd rather give that money to Precious, honestly. If we were going to choose between Tyler Herro and Precious Achiuwa, I would take Precious Achiuwa every single time. Every single time. Iceman saying at Seymour, Doughton is on the list as a third point guard. That's right. He has him on there. He did not forget him. He got them all this time. Last time he missed Boucher, but he fixed it and he got it right. And I think Iceman's pretty on point. It's just we're going to have to see how those two ways work out. We'll see how they work out. Let's keep going. Hang on. Where was I with that? Okay, there we go. Seymour saying okay. And Fun Guy saying drinking outside and putting the mug in the bushes. My type of people. See, Fun Guy, you should have came down. Yeah. I mean, we're really nice and fun and down to earth people, but yeah, maybe a little bit of rule breakers. Rules. Whatever. I was gonna try and change the TV behind their back. We were doing fun stuff down there. Fun Guy, you would have fit real nice. Next time, you got to make it next time. MSJ saying it was peer pressure. I've never broken the law like that before. I'm a saint, haha. But I took he took the mug home. He still has it. There you go. You got a memento from it. It's a good mug. I mean, I'm sure those beer prices are crazy. I have no idea. This is a mug like this. And it's got to be like a $30 beer, the way prices are around the Scotiabank Arena. It's got to be. If it's like anything like inside, it's got to, if it's similar, it's got to be a crazy price. Yeah, you know what? I think it was just a perfect storm of Bradley being like, you know what? I know what to do in this situation. And Chris is like, okay, I'll go along with it. And then he just becomes an accomplice. And Bradley was the Bradley's so awesome. I love Bradley so much. He's so enthusiastic in person, just like he is in the chat. And the love shown to me by Canadian Cowboy yesterday was just phenomenal. I love you, Bradley. You really are like my brother, man. You really seriously are. You remind me in some ways of people from my past that have been very good friends of mine. That yeah, you're just like some of my old friends. Holy crap. Yeah, we would do stuff like that. Back when I was drinking, I would do something like y'all did. I would totally do that. Whether I knew I was or not while I was drunk. Let's see. Infamous is saying, I realize projecting the starting lineup, everyone can guard their position at an advanced level. We're going to be a lot better than we think once we develop chemistry. I like that. I think that this is something that I was thinking about too. Dennis, people don't realize his defense on ball. You know, part of the reason why the Raptors were looking for Dennis for a couple years now, like he was on a wish list for us. We said we finally got him when we signed him this week, is because we've realized that our perimeter defense on threes has been absolute shite for a few years. Like we do not guard the three very well. Well, Dennis Schroeder is going to be an improvement on this. This guy is so tight with his defense. He's not going to be allowing people very easy open threes anywhere because he's quick to get to places. He's got the experience, and this is just who he is. And that is probably a big reason why Bobby was targeting him in free agency for a few years now, is he wants help on our defense for three-pointers. And Dennis is going to help this immensely in some ways that Fred just can't. And his quickness and quick to get to people and agitate them. In fact, Dennis would have fit Nick's system very well because he is that kind of guy that leans into people as they come up the court. Now, the interesting thing is that Darko's philosophy is going to be very paint oriented. He's already said he builds his defense out from rim protection and that middle guy in the middle. And that it's going to be the opposite of Nick, where Nick really has the initiation of the defense, is meeting the ball handler and really hounding him, what he's been doing the last couple of years. Well, this will be the interesting difference, is that Darko's coming from the basket out and Nick was going from outside in. Well, we'll see how that changes our defense and whether we're more solid because of the more basic typical original scheme of, you guard the paint first, other than what Nick was doing. Because that was what was frustrating people to a degree about Nick Nurse, was all the open threes in the corner, all of the blown assignments because guys would overplay for the steal. And then all of a sudden there's a really open guy in an easy basket somewhere. That is true. That was a horrible part of the defense with Nick, where the other team would get easy baskets because we'd overplay. And we were crying out at times in the last few years, just stay home and stop doubling or stop being so overly aggressive where you get beat so easily when they get past it. Well, I think Darko is going to have a different wall. His wall is going to be down near the basket. And if they beat the guy out front, well, there's going to be people that are going to be ready to get them for sure. So we'll have to see. That's going to be a big difference between Nick and Rajakovic. So it's going to be cool. I think that our starting lineup will be better defensively in some ways overall, not just because of Dennis being around, but because Scottie's going to be better this year on defense. Watch. He's very much committed to getting that conditioning up for what he has got to do on the defensive end. It's not even for the offensive end he's doing his conditioning. He wants to be a very good defensive player, and he wants to be the defensive player of the year. So this is going to be an interesting part of Scott's development. People want Scott to do certain things on the offensive end, and this may be another place where Scottie fans don't line up with what Scott actually thinks and wants. Is Scottie may be talking about, I want to get really better, and they may be thinking, oh, he's going to score 30 points, and he's going to be like our number one scoring option. No, it could very well be he wants to get better. He's just want to be really, really overpowering on defense. And what if he's like showing huge gains on the defensive end, but not so much on the offensive end? Casuals will say, oh, he's not getting any better. Meanwhile, educated eyes will say, well, yeah, are you watching him on defense right now? You may only care about scoring, but there's two sides of the ball. And he may be really increasing his game on the other end more than the offensive end. And that may be like something that not the trained, like you watched a lot of basketball and understand it. People won't understand that. They'll be like, well, he's not scoring as much, but he's playing exceptionally crazy good defense, like OG level defense now. So very, very interesting stuff. MSJ, laughing at MSJ. Let's see. Yeah, it's good stuff. It was good stuff. MSJ was innocent in all this. Yeah, nobody got in trouble, which was good. I had to say to Bradley, it's like, just finish that last little bit in your cup. You're just a heat magnet. waiting to get in trouble. And I'd hate to see you get in trouble just for one little gulp in your cup because you're just holding it like that. I'm like, dude, you just had such little. Just go ahead and down it. And then you don't have to worry about nothing. It was good. Yeah, good keepsake. Yeah. Anya's saying, I think Gary will make a big leap this year. No, but tall boy in the bush before I came in. I'm a cowboy. I needed a road beer. I got the mug still. Let's go. Okay, so he did take it with him. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I saw you doing something weird over in the bushes when you're leaving, Bradley, and the people were talking to you. And I was like, what are you doing? What's Bradley doing over there? And it's like, we were still waiting for our Uber. Iceman, G saying, Iceman, was that your list or one you found? It's a good list. Well, honestly, G, in a lot of ways, that's just who we know is already under contract. And he kind of just put them in their spots. And it sounds like we're pretty full, with McDaniels on the team now, it really is, the wiggle room is around Weezey and Harper Jr. And we'll have to see. They were playing for continue to play on the Raptors in the summer league. We'll see what they did enough and what happens with the decisions. In some ways, I'd like to get those spots open and have somebody totally new come in. Serge Ibaka. Yeah, let's have him come back. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, I want Scott to run point and send Dennis to the bench. Let Gary start as the 2. This could very well be the plan. We're just going to have to see. I've projected that Dennis will start to begin just because in the beginning, Darko's got to start with somebody who knows how to work with him really well. And it may be smart, but it could be that over time, Dennis starts to become the bench point guard. But it may be easier for just Darko starting his new regime as a coach to have a point guard that he's already worked with very closely and trusts to just in the beginning. But it could very well be Scott takes over and he's the point guard. Or I don't know what Darko will do. It could be that he doesn't start Dennis. And, it's all wide open. We have no idea. It really will get some of the clues from training camp and the preseason. But up until then, I have no idea how to speculate what our rotation, our starters, or anything is going to be. Because they could be all kinds of different options. Flynn's involved in this too. He could be starting. We don't know. Thank you for the chat warning, nameless. MSJ saying it. Thank you so much for the t-shirt. A lot of people glanced at it as I was traveling back. Very cool design. Love it. Awesome. Yeah. Listen, Evelyn, thank you so much. Any of this kind of promotion or whatever, people ask you on the street, what the hell is that? You can tell them what's up. This is pretty cool. Brian, good to see you, King. To the Point, y'all. Check out To the Point YouTube channel on Raptors and all kinds of different stuff. Good to see you, Brian. King is in the house, y'all. Shout out to Freak Nation. Thank you, King. And shout out to the Point Nation also. Skipping the King, baby. Yeah, Anya's saying, good job, Seymour. Let's go, Raptorfreaks. Yeah. Nameless saying, if I'm drinking a brew on the street, nobody in their right mind will ask me to stop. Probably not even the cops. Now imagine if there was 3 or 5 of us. In some ways, it wasn't like we were being disruptive. It's not like they took the mugs and shattered them on the ground or, we weren't being abusive or a problem. Maybe we looked a little scary, but it wasn't a bad place to do it. Like in the middle of Jurassic Park, right out in the middle of there. I know the liquor laws are not good out there, and we could have probably gotten people in trouble, but whatever. We just did what we did. That's all it is. So whatever. And we wish you could have been there, nameless. So you would have been part of the posse. That's for sure. Iceman saying at G, it's my list. Gradey Dick is 6'6", 25 barefoot. Okay. 6'6" and a quarter barefoot. Okay. Schroeder sounds like he will be starting after talking with Darko. Gary has the 6-man role. He played in Portland, adds scoring off the bench. Yeah, I mean, we can kind of look at what Darko's done in Memphis. Not that it was his team, it's Taylor Jenkins. But in some ways, I don't know. Like the way they did their rotations there, it's some fluidity between starting and being off the bench with Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones would start sometimes for the Grizzlies, depending on who is available. I think this is probably right, that Gary will be a 6-man again this year. That in some ways, it's just going to kind of look like that makes the most sense. But I'll bet you he'll get a really good amount of minutes. It's not that he'll be hurting for minutes. It's just that he may not be starting games. And he could very well be finishing them still. So let's see. Fiercely saying, OG's posting? That's why it rained. Yeah, we got to be careful when OG posts on social media. When he did it that one time, there wasn't good things that happened afterwards. But he's just doing an ad for Flow Water. That's all. Let's see. And he probably had to. It was probably contractual. He's like, OG, you got to do a post for Flow Water. I don't want to do a post, but they're paying us money. You got to do it. All right, I'll do it. It's kind of thing. Seymour saying Hogue had a nasty dunk on somebody yesterday. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I kind of saw that. Let's see. MSJ saying flying squirrel. Ooh, that's an allusion to Rocky and Bullwinkle. I kind of like that. So instead of the mighty hamster or Mighty Mouse, a flying squirrel, just like Rocket J Swirl with that moose. The moose. I hate the mooses. I hate the mooses too. Yeah, boss. Yeah, get the mooses. Mooses. Yeah. Maybe flying squirrel. I don't know. Mr. New York City is what he wants right now. So maybe we should just stick to what he wants. I don't know. We try to name people's nicknames and they don't always take. People don't like them or whatever. Lowry never liked the Bulldog moniker, so he hated it. He rejected it. Scottie, we tried nicknames on him last year in Twitch. None of them kind of stuck to him. I wanted Scottie Basketball. Scottie Basketball Barnes, because he loves basketball so much. But yeah, I don't think he's ready to be Scottie Basketball because it's kind of like that's a big nickname for all of basketball. Maybe someday he'll be Scottie Basketball, but we'll see. Stargate saying, why do people keep putting Precious as a center? He's not a center. He is a power forward. Nurse kept putting him in as a center, and he got burned every time, allowing Nick Nurse to criticize him in the media. This is a good point. In some ways, I am on both sides. I don't think ideally Precious should play center, but in our depth chart, he's had to because we just didn't have enough of them. We'd had Kem and like Koloko, and that was it or something like that. That's not good enough. And Precious had to play center. Now Jakob's here. Jakob's definitely our starting center. Koloko is more like, in some ways, the backup center to me also. But Precious is kind of like a backup power forward center. It is ideal more to play him at the 4 or even the 3. I'd love to see Precious slotted in at the 3 sometimes. It's not likely to happen very often, but he has the handles and different things about him that he could be that slasher scorer, small forward. But in some ways, he can guard the centers somewhat with his strength, but it isn't ideal. I think you're right, Stargate. But he is kind of on our depth chart as one of our centers. And it could be very well he's the center when we want to go small, that kind of thing. You go put him in there and he'll play the 5 when we want to be a smaller, quicker, mobile team without Jakob or Koloko out there. And I think that's the way we should look at it. I agree with you. He shouldn't technically be his first position as center. He's definitely a 4, but he's like a 4-5. He's been a 4-5 his whole career so far. But in some ways, I'd like him to be more just a straightforward, either a 3 or a 4 in a lot of our lineups, because that'll be like the kind of stuff I love. Like it's like Scottie at 1, OG at 2, Precious at 3, and then put like Pascal at 4 and Jakob at 5. Something like that. That would be crazy. Precious is actually the 3, or Siakam is the 3. They're interchangeable. They could be the 3 or the 4, or the 2 of them. But yeah, it's an interesting idea what position Precious actually plays. Seymour saying, I knew Nick Nurse was toast after pushing Precious and he got hurt. Poor work ethic, Nick. Yeah, I hated that too. Like, the way he treated Precious in some ways last year was really wrong. He put him down and publicly, and then he overplayed him and he got hurt. And that really messed up our season. That whole time when Precious was out was the longest period he's ever missed in his career. And on the down low, that really hurt us when Precious was out. It didn't hurt us as much as Siakam being out, but it did actually hurt us too. And when Siakam came back, Precious was still out. So we still weren't fully ourselves, and we never found a groove last year. So Omari's saying, when did he push Precious and why didn't Precious push him back? I don't know if he's talking about actually pushed him. He means he pushed him to play even though he probably shouldn't have when he was kind of hurt. I think that's what it was he's trying to say. Iceman saying, Achua can be a small ball center, a stretch 5 as the roster is currently constructed. A lot of backup centers around the NBA are power forwards in disguise. Boom. Iceman LeGervin and I very much think alike. And he's describing in a slightly different way exactly what I was trying to say just now, too. He's definitely a small ball center or a stretch 5. Him being able to hit the 3 is a part of that. And this is just the way the NBA is. There's not very many true centers anymore. They're kind of rare in some ways. Like a lot of teams don't have a lot of them on their team. They'll have like 1 or 2 of them. But now we'd like having 2. I'd like to get 3. If we got Moses Brown as the third center, I wouldn't be totally hating that, just because we'll have depth at that position. Anya's saying, I think Ant-Man for Nowell because he can blow it up. Ant-Man. Well, there's already an Ant-Man, and his name is Anthony Edwards, and he's in Minnesota. So the Ant-Man moniker is already there. Seymour's laughing at Omari. Yeah, it was a figurative push, not a literal violent push. It was like he pushed him to play more. Is what it was. Let's see. Seymour saying Precious got hurt and missed a ton of games because Nick used him wrong. Yeah, he pushed him wrong. Wayne is saying Seymour Precious injured himself by going for an ill-advised dunk, not used properly by Nick for sure. Yeah, I don't know. That whole time I'm trying to block out of my head because it was a sad time for us. So I'm not remembering it exactly the way it went. But yeah, I remember feeling like Nick pushed him, and that was part of the reason why he got hurt at that time. I do remember that. Isaac saying, wow, running from baseball fans, 905 fun, and cheering and drinking in the bushes. I need to get me to TO. Yeah, Isaac, you would have had a blast yesterday. Seriously, it was really funny. Yeah, we weren't really running from them. They were just all around us. I mean, there's a Blue Jays game going on. They're playing Arizona yesterday, and the game is at the exact same time as the Summer League game. So a lot of Blue Jays fans were at Real Sports when we got there pre-drinking to go to the Blue Jays game, walk down the street, and then when the Blue Jays game is over, they all come down and take over Real Sports afterwards. So at that point, we're like, okay, Sue left, Evelyn left, a few of the people left, and we couldn't really hold the room anymore. So I wanted to allow Real Sports to continue to make money and have more people in there. There's only like 2 or 3 of us in there drinking. Yeah, we can give them that room that's good for like 12 people. So, but yeah, you would have had fun, Isaac. And when you come to Toronto, we'll definitely make an event like this so we can all see you. Let's see. Anya's saying no to Herro. Yeah, I'm no to Herro also. Also, the Raptors need OG and Spicy P, period. Yep, we got to keep them. And Nameless is agreeing. 100% from Tom also. Seymour saying 100% on point. We got to keep OG and Spicy. All right, well, let's talk about something interesting. I went to Real Sports, not Real Sports, the Center Sports, the store in Scotiabank Arena where they sell the jerseys and all the apparel. And, I noticed something very interesting. They have a lot of Scottie, Pascal, and OG stuff up there. Of course, all the Fred stuff's on the clearance rack. You can go get a Fred jersey for half price right now down there. But the people that they have on blast in there sometimes indicates kind of the direction of the front office is seeing who they key on as far as who are the important players in the franchise that are going to be sticking around. Because why would they be putting their merchandise on blast like they are? And the 3 players that were in there very prominently were Barnes, Siakam, and Anunoby. You can get Siakam, OG, and Barnes stuff like crazy in Center Sports right now. Now, I was looking for Boucher stuff yesterday, and they didn't have anything Boucher in there. And that was kind of annoying to me because I really want to get some Boucher for David, but I couldn't find it. But, those are the 3 players they're putting on blast. That kind of shows that maybe this is the direction of who they value, is who we're putting on retail and the merchandising in the store at the arena. That kind of tells you something sometimes. So those are the 3 names: Barnes, Siakam, and Anunoby, very much on blast in that store. All right, let's keep going. G saying Kawhi was defense, rebounding first, and his offensive bag grew after that. I like this path for Scottie. Plus, Scottie has court vision and passing. Not the same player, but I like that path. In some ways, it's smart because defense is more stable than offense. Like if you just do stable defense, you can get that outcome consistently. Now you can try and be stable offense, but other things can go wrong that can screw up your good offensive feel. It could be that one of your players that you play with is not playing well and they're not getting your assists because they keep missing. It could be all kinds of different reasons. Scottie can learn the game defensively faster and get solid at it and then grow the offense later, just like what G's saying about Kawhi Leonard. That this is actually a really good path for him to follow if you think about it. The defense is the bread and butter, the main baseline of everything. That has to be there every night, night in and night out. It's kind of like OG, same thing. OG always concentrate on the defense first, and he's allowing his offensive game to grow now. And it's still not at the detriment to the defensive game not being as good because he's focusing just on offense now. So in some ways, he's like, you want to add things together and not do one at one time and then switch. Oh, I'm going to focus on defense now that I got my offense right. No, you want to have that baseline of defense just solid, like OG's been doing, because we don't see him not doing the same thing on defense just because he's trying to do more on offense now. So the paths of OG and Kawhi are very good paths for Scottie to kind of follow. They'll make him a more complete player and a solid all-around defensive player for sure. And that is very important. I agree with this. Leslie saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Missed you guys yesterday. Had to work, but I hope Lex and the family had a great time." We really did, Leslie. And we wish you could have made it, but I'm sure there'll be events later in the future where you'll be able to rendezvous and meet everybody and have a good time also. Get one of our shirts and just have a good time with everybody. It was really, really fun. Wayne saying, "When does Rico run start? Should be very interesting seeing Van Vliet, Pascal, and the crew." Well, they're usually in August. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, right when August starts, we'll have Rico runs to watch. We'll see how much the Raptors are there this year. I'm sure Siakam will be there for sure. Maybe most of the Raptors will be there, but it's going to be a little weird seeing as Rico's now a Sixers coach. And I don't know. We'll just have to see. Either way, I'm sure the Rico runs are going to be entertaining. Hopefully, we will have a lot of Raptors there as usual, but we'll have to see how it is. It may be very different this year. It may have been Nick Nurse that was saying, "I want y'all to all go to Rico runs," but maybe Darko doesn't see the value in it. And he's not like, "Yeah, you guys don't have to go to the Rico runs like y'all did last year." I mean, what did it get y'all? Did it get us anything in the regular season after all? No, it really didn't. So in some ways, if they don't go to Rico runs like they did the last couple of years, I'm not going to be totally upset. But I would like to see how they're doing and get highlights and react to them just for this channel. But if they're not there, I'll understand it. But we'll have to see. I don't even know if Fred will be there. Honestly, Fred went last year for very little. He wasn't there very long. And if he's not involved with Nick Nurse and Rico Hines in Philadelphia or with the Raptors, he may not be under the direction of Ime Udoka to go to Rico Hines runs. So don't hold your breath on Fred being there. He may likely not be there for sure. As far as the other guys, I'm sure Pascal will be there 100%. He just has to be there because of Rico. Tom saying, "Gee, yesterday Nowell said he always focuses on his defensive results compared to the offensive. Also plans on a 15-year NBA career. I loved Pat Delany explaining the organization's focus on helping their players." Yeah, the after-game interviews were pretty good. It sounded like, they were asking Gradey and Markquis how they felt about their summer league and how they progressed over the 5 games, and really good answers. Like, I like that Markquis is very defensive minded. And in fact, he did play very good defense throughout the whole summer league. If he didn't have a good offensive game in the second and third game, he definitely had a good defensive game because he shut down Cooper for the Cavs, and that was a big deal. Sharif Cooper has been killing it in summer league and in G League last year for the Cavs, and him shutting him down and not letting him get him many points was a very indicative of the defensive effort that Nowell was putting out there through the summer league. He has to do it like times 10, the average person, because of his height, and he really has to overcome his height with over energy and being absolutely everywhere all the time. Like, he expends so much more energy than anybody else on the court when he's out there just because of his height. And it really goes funneled into the defensive stuff. And he is really good on defense for being 5'7". He's very sound. And I like that he's focusing on that. Gradey talking a lot about his progress and the things that he did. And we did see him grow in 5 games. Seriously, we did for sure. And Pat Delany keeping it all real in his post-game interview, kind of just talking about what they cared about and what they were happy about. And, he's proud of these guys, even if it was not the most successful summer league. They showed some progress, and winning the last game did matter. It's really good that they got that last taste of success right at the end. Right at the end. Fiercely saying Precious needs to work on his body language when he doesn't execute, but I appreciate his hustle. So you can detect when he's let down and kind of like drooping his shoulders and kind of like, whoa. Yeah, I've seen him like that before too. He's good. He's such a confident young man. And I really have like a bright future I see for Precious. It's just, we'll have to see if he gets the opportunities here in Toronto. I really hope he does. I want him fit him in and keep him a part of our collective. He is such a good player, Seriously, people are going to sleep on Precious and think that, oh, he's an afterthought in the whole scheme of the Raptors. He really shouldn't be, because he could be one of our top players. Iceman is saying Rico runs usually start sometime during the first week of August. That's right. That sounds right. And we'll hopefully get them for about a month. For pretty much the whole month of August, we'll have the Rico runs. And it helps me with content making on here. That's for sure. Anya's saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks, have a blessed day. Let's go, Raptors. You go, Bradley, and be safe out there. And if you're working today, have a good day. Ta-da services. Find them on Instagram. Find them on the internet. Find them in your phone book. They can come and help you out. Clean your carpets, wash your windows, move heavy objects, paint things. You know, do you have something you want to do around your house, but you don't want to do it yourself? These guys will come and do it. You just call Bradley. He'll come and do it. Ta-da services in the phone book and on the internet, on Instagram. Ta-da services. Look it up. You'll find them. Let's see. Seymour saying Dallas might trade Tim Hardaway Jr. for Bogdanovich. Interesting. Detroit to Dallas trade. Interesting. Click saying, if there's one thing I learned from last season, all of these off-season videos don't mean shit. Yeah, I mean, maybe like the Rico Hines runs, definitely. Last year, I mean, we looked so good in them. I was like, man, our chemistry is going to be so good next year. Well, we didn't have good chemistry last year. It was really weird. I thought we were building up chemistry at Rico Hines runs, but not the right kind of chemistry, I guess. Mike saying, salute the real ones. Project Truth Always Logical. Raptors Fanatic is here. Everyone at the meet looks great. I didn't really have time for a drop either. Next week should be better. Mike, I'm sorry to hear that you've been so busy recently this week. And we all understand there'll be other opportunities down the road. You know, we may be going to a game this season as a group. So maybe you can be a part of going to a game with us this season. If somebody comes from out of town, like Isaac or Fiercey, we'll definitely have get-togethers for any of the Raptor Freaks that come from out of the city. We will organize something. We'll all get together somewhere. If not, go to a game or just go to a venue and watch a game together or just have a hangout. We'll see. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Tuned in late. Missed out yesterday. We got a W. Happy for the Rooks. Yeah, we missed you yesterday, Cool Cat. I wasn't sure if you were going to come or not. I knew you were kind of iffy on it, maybe, possibly. But yeah, we missed you. It would have been nice to see you. But hopefully there'll be some opportunities down the road for sure. Yeah, and we had a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm so happy the Raptors won yesterday. It would have been kind of suck if they had lost all 5 games. And that's what happened to the Warriors instead. They lost all 5 games. Seymour saying, did you like the 4-point circles on the floor during WNBA All-Star game? Ooh, I didn't see that. That's cool. So they were doing a 4-point spot on there. That's something that they've talked about doing in the NBA at different times. I like that kind of innovation. I don't know if it's good for like in-game regular season because it changes like the scoring. You got to start keeping the stats on 4-point shooting. It may be good for exhibition games like All-Star games, but I don't know if it's something that the WNBA or the NBA should institute as a regular thing in every game. You know, that may happen eventually at some point, but I'm more likely like them to make a 4-point line that's further out from the 3-point line for that Steph Curry kind of range. Babe, I'm almost done. You're very loud. Holy cow. All right, let's see. Iceman is saying Masai is the one calling the shots on the Rico runs. He sends the entire team, even under Casey. Okay, so you're saying that Masai is going to send them anyway. Okay, so it has nothing to do with Nick telling them to go down there or not. Okay, good information, Iceman. Good to know. David's saying we're live. Yeah, David, I did decide to go on after all. I can't break this habit. I was going to not do a stream today, but I got up and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about the Summer League. I want to talk about what our get together yesterday. It was good times. And so happy to see you, David. Once again, thank you for that trophy. It was amazing from all y'all. It's really nice. Iceman saying Bench Mob used to be at the Rico runs and develop chemistry. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the history of our Raptors going there is a few years deep at this point. I was just wondering with the changes and like Rico being in Philly and all that, I wasn't sure. I wouldn't just assume that our Raptors are going to be there again this year, especially since it seems like it didn't really help things last year in some ways. I don't know. They may be better off privately working out without all the cameras on YouTube and everybody hyping it up and saying, oh, the Raptors are going to be so good. Look at how good they are at Rico Hines runs. They're going to be so good this year. Maybe they don't need that pressure and maybe they need to be closed doors and stuff, but it probably will show up. I think you're probably right. Leslie's saying at work, we had the WNBA skills challenge. That was fun to watch. Those ladies were fierce. Really, really amazing with the 3-point shooting by Sabrina Ionescu. Really, really amazing. Really good. I want to see a WNBA, NBA mashup 3-point shootout. I think that some of the other WNBA players could compete with the NBA best 3-point shooters. We may be surprised to see one of the WNBA players win that competition against Steph Curry and Tyler Herro and people like that. I'm telling you, it'll give a lot of shine to the WNBA if they can do that. That'd be really good. Let's see. And Wayne Strainer saying bad chemistry was on Nick Nurse, not on the runs. I don't think the changes matter much to these guys. It's their job, and they don't get personal. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Like I said, I don't want to assume anything with the different changes with our franchise and the coaching staff. So, in some ways, it may be up to Masai, and Darko will say, yeah, of course, I want them to go train with Rico. But in some ways, it does matter what Darko thinks about it, whether he wants his players to go there. And partly he has to go there too himself. I'm sure he'd like to be there kind of hanging around and watching too, because we saw a lot of the coaches just sitting there on the sideline, just kind of watching things as it's going on. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to just assume anything. You know what that means. If you assume everything, I hope they do go. I'm not saying I don't want them to go to Rico Hines runs, but I'm not totally sure if they will the way that they did last year. So we'll have to see. All right, let's finish things up. Thanks for watching me today, guys. 3 stars of the game, Joe Wieskamp, Gradey Dick, and Markquis Nowell. Fantastic job in the last game of the Summer League. I'm really happy the Raptors ended on a good note. We needed a good feeling after a difficult week. Very good stuff. And once again, thanks to everybody who came to the meet and greet yesterday and everybody who wanted to be there and was there in spirit. Thank you also. I just really, really appreciate this community, and building this community has been so rewarding to me because honestly, I didn't have a lot of friends that were positive Raptor fans. Sure, I had other friends that were Raptor fans, but they were very negative, toxic in a lot of ways. And they would cut us down just as quickly as they build us up. And like, yeah, well, I love the Raptors. I love that we won the championship, but I don't believe in them. I kind of like nag them on the down low all the time. And I know you're my friend. I like being around you, but in some ways I want friends that actually look at the Raptors the same way as me. And that's what I feel like we built. And I'm really, really so grateful. And I don't take this for granted. You guys are giving me your time sometimes, watching me or coming down like yesterday. And it means a lot. It really does. Because it is a real community. Evelyn, Monique, Adriana, Sue, David, Peter, Neil, Chris, Bradley, Raymond, Morgan, Jackie, everybody coming down means so much because, we're building a community of like-minded Raptor fans that love the team and really support them die hard. And we're at another level than just the average Raptor fan. Average Raptor fans may not talk about the Raptors in the middle of July like this or care about the Summer League or want to come and do an event like we did yesterday. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. I love y'all. And thank you for coming down and hanging out with me. Seriously, it was a really good time. And we will do it again very, very soon. Yeah. Bigger and better. Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. I hope so too. Denal saying hi and bye. Denal, you're hilarious, man. All right. W's from Isaac Campbell. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Monday moment. I'll figure out what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But no, I'm not going to take a day off. I was going to take a day off, but I'm like, I can't. I don't want to mess with my streak. And 5 minutes yesterday didn't count. That live stream is so janky and choppy. But thanks again, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I appreciate everything. And y'all have a great Sunday. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Thank you, Raptor Freaks. Let's go, Raptor Freaks. Woo!